So now once we have filled up the elements of the first matrix, the same procedure is to be repeated to fill up the elements of the second matrix. So printf enter the elements of the second matrix. So since we know the two matrices would get added provided the total number of rows and columns in both the matrices remain the same. We have already read the number of rows and columns into m and n. They stand the same for the second matrix also. So for c is equal to 0, c is less than m, c plus plus, it is the same part of the code that you have before. For d is equal to 0, d is less than n, d plus plus. But now you are scanning into the second matrix. So this is pertaining to the row c, d is pertaining to the column. So you have read the elements of the second matrix. Now the second part of the program is where you have to add the two matrices. So we say printf sum of the entire matrices. For c is equal to 0, that is you are keeping track of the rows. Elements of the first matrix in the corresponding positions are to be summed up to give the elements of the row in the summation matrix. So for c is equal to 0, c is less than m, c plus plus. The same way for d is equal to 0, d less than n, d plus plus. You have the third matrix which is called the sum, where we try to put in the sum of the elements of the matrix first and second. So sum of c. C has 0, D also has 0. That is, you are filling up the first element of the matrix called sum. Sum of 0, 0 is equal to first of 0, 0 plus second of 0, 0. That is the elements at the corresponding positions. First of 0, 0 and second of 0, 0 would be added. First element of the first matrix, first element of the second matrix are added to give you the first element of the third matrix, sum. Now in a matrix, after you have the first element of the matrix, the second element of the first row will be displayed after some spacing. So that is the reason you have printf %d, you print the element, after which you provide a tab. So and then you print the elements of the matrix. So the element is printed followed by a subsequent tab. Now you are in the inner for loop, so the control again goes back to this point d plus plus. D now becomes 1. So the row is still 0. So now you are filling up sum of 0, 1. That is the second element in the first row. You earlier filled up the first element in the first row. Now you fill up the second element in the first row. That is sum of 0, 1 is equal to first of 0, 1 plus second of 0, 1. Again, now you print the element sum of CD. So that is the second element of the first matrix, and the second element of the second matrix has given you the second element in the first row of the sum matrix. So the control again goes to D. It gets incremented. D now becomes 2. So sum of C of D, that is 0, 2. You are filling up the third element of the first row is equal to first of 0, 2 plus second of 0, 2. And you are trying to print the same element which is followed by a tab. So now D again gets incremented by 1. It becomes 3. But 3 is less than 3 will not happen. Now the inner for loop has ended. After the entire elements of the first row are printed, we would like to go to the second line. So that is the reason you have printf /n. Every time you move from one row to the subsequent row, you will have to introduce a line. So we are doing that with the help of printf /n. Now once you have gone to the next line, the control goes to the outermost for loop. C was earlier 0, now becomes 1. So 1 is less than m. So here onwards C is 1. Again it starts filling the elements of the second row one by one. C is 1, D is 0, means it would have become sum of 1, 0. That means the second row, the first column, and the same procedure is repeated. So you have this flower brace, the first flower brace which is closed for the innermost for loop, then the other flower brace which is closed for the outermost for loop, and the last one being closed for the main function. And you are returning 0 because